You're listening to Rep Radio. Our goal is simple. We support, promote, engage, and inspire the arts community by igniting the ghost light that shines on the stages of the up-and-coming, the unsung heroes, the brilliant writers, and the dynamic designers. Our podcast breaks the fourth wall to give you an inside look at the plays and the players. Stay tuned. Rep Radio is on the air. Today on the podcast, we talk about the final production of Theater Exile's 25th season, Today is My Birthday, by Susan Soon-Yi Stanton. Here is my interview with Rachel O'Hanlon Rodriguez and Daniel Kim for Today is My Birthday. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Darnell Radford, and today I am in the virtual studio with two guests from Theater Exile's 25th anniversary season, and the production that is rounding off that season is called Today is My Birthday by Susan Soon-Yi Stanton. And I will give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Daniel Kim, and I have the honor of playing the father of the main character. Plus, in addition, as a bonus, I play the world's oldest ukulele player.
Hi, y'all. I'm Rachel O'Hanlon Rodriguez, and I am playing a character named Halima, which is a long-distance best friend of the lead of the show, Emily, who is played by Stephanie Kyung-sun Walters. Incredible. I'm also playing a radio DJ. So Darnell, I'm really trying to observe some of your stuff, put that into my character. Her name is DJ Solange. She also has a secondary role as Sweet Goddess Leilani for the late night advice hour on the radio. I'm also playing a hostess, and the voice of all of the voicemail recordings throughout the show is also me, which has been fun.
So just a couple of hats.
Only a few.
For all of you. Oh, great. So that's great. So tell us, before we get into the weeds about Today is My Birthday, tell us a little bit about yourselves and where we may have seen you recently. And we'll start with Dan.
Well, I just did the play The Chinese Lady at Interact Theater last fall, which is, just an incredible experience. I really thought that was an amazing play. And a few years ago, I did Tiger Style, which you may have seen. That was Papa, their initial production. We were just about to open a play written by Stephanie Walters, who was the play's lead character, but that was right at the beginning of COVID, so we were just like 2 weeks away from opening. And then other than that, I've been just trying to keep busy with readings and stuff. So I'll turn it over to Rachel.
I'm like, what have I done? I guess the past 2 years makes everything feel so different. But recently I was just at Theater Exile as part of Ego Po Classic Theater's Life is a Dream, which I think closed like last month. So it feels a little surreal to be diving into a brand new, different world play. Before that, I feel like I did a solo performance called Empanada Loca, which was probably my last Fringe show. I was with the Hummingbirds. We did Fear Itself down in South Philly Cemetery. That was a fun ghost piece last Fringe. But I've just been around for the past couple of years. People might have seen me like organizing a bunch too. That's a different theatrical hat I wear.
That's great. Well, it's great that you've all managed to keep busy in all of this because no one would blame you if you didn't. If you found some place to sit and a dark room with no lights on.
That happened too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I can't say that I was free from that, but thankfully,
Mhm.
at least I
yeah.
got to break it up a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes you need to just escape from whatever it is,
For
and
sure.
just be alone with your thoughts. Yeah, so tell us about today is my birthday.
Uh, but
Go for it, Dan.
oh, okay. Well, today is my birthday. Is a kind of a tumultuous period in the life of the main character, Emily Chang. She's 29 years old. She had been living in New York City, but she returns to her family home in Hawaii after breaking up with her long time boyfriend. And it just follows her various encounters during a couple of weeks right before her birthday.
Yeah, and her birthday, I think she's 29, and so the upcoming birthday is the end of the 20s and the beginning of a new decade of life in this year that is very filled with transitions and changes, which is, I think, something a lot of us could understand no matter what age we are.
Yes, yes, definitely. And tell me, what were your first impressions of this piece?
Wow. I will say this piece is written almost entirely of phone calls. And so I have never seen a play with such short scenes and no one is in the same room with each other. So much of the theater I've seen is about people sitting in the same room at the same time having a conversation. And so this play just feels like a very different exploration of storytelling, which makes me feel
Hmm.
really excited. It's also a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess what struck me about the play, a couple of things. One is that it's relatable. I mean, you just
Hmm.
see this woman's life broken up into tiny little interactions. Um, I think what also struck me is that it really rings true. Like you just see these things happening to this poor person, and I'm not saying it's a tiny bit exaggerated here and there, but at its core, it seems to really ring very much like something that may have really happened to the playwright or something like that.
Hmm.
And parts of the play are just really funny, and parts of the play are really like sad. So I just think it's kind of just a whole bunch of different things all mixed together. And as Rachel pointed out, it's a whole bunch of scenes. I think we counted it's like 54 scenes or something like that that we managed to squeeze in under
Wow.
2 hours. And it's quite an adventure from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they're all snippets and and shorter than traditional scenes.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I tried to find the longest scene and it was like maybe 6 pages.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My longest scene is 2 minutes, I think, 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so it's like these short snippets. I was recently reflecting in rehearsal that it almost reminded me of the feeling of scrolling through a social media feed, where it's like you're
Hmm.
seeing all this different kind of content, short clips of things, but the experience of sitting and scrolling is still, I don't know, connected. Usually because your scroll is, programmed to your likes, and instead this is like
Hmm.
the scrolling is Emily's journey into, I would say, maybe refining herself in a new way.
Mm.
Hmm. It's like if your life was a TikTok feed.
Yes.
Yes, 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 because each one's like a short video of some sad or funny thing that happens to Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, so the director, Kat Ramirez, said in an interview that I found on the website, and I'll quote it. It says, to tell Emily's story, we will use the element of surprise and lean into what it means to talk to someone who can't see you. Sometimes that experience can be liberating, but sometimes it can be deeply lonely. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I've been thinking about this a lot, especially because so much of our recent life has been spent with this impersonal, personal communication, about not being able to read someone's body language. And when that happens, we run the risk of not seeing that someone needs support. Sometimes we can sense that someone's going through something by the way they are holding themselves. And I think that's something I've been thinking about in the play a lot, of just like, oh, these people can't really see each other. And so support is often given to people that might not fully need it, whereas we can't tell who actually needs the support in the moment. And so it's the miscommunication of those needs. The care is still there, but there's like a distinct miscommunication of what folks need in the given moment.
Yeah, I think that it just reflects the kind of the times. I mean, we live in an age where we exchange so much information about each other, and people are constantly bombarded by communications. And yet at the same time, I think loneliness is probably like one of the number one complaints, is that people spend all this time interacting with people and yet they still feel lonely. So, I mean, I think that figures into the play as well. The idea that Emily talks to all these different people, and yet I think just feels adrift.
Yeah, I often think about the angry voices that pop up in social media feeds. Like if someone posts something that that somebody doesn't agree with, like the angry comment in there is like, "You must be alone where you are right now." Like, why is this something that you need to share here? Why do you have to say this? But you know, there's an opportunity here to like connect with people, but instead you're saying it almost seems like a cry for help. And so you have to be sort of be delicate. Like you process that and you just say, oh man. And then you're kind of in your head about whether you should engage or not, and then you're like, why? Because I'm ultimately questioning why they engaged and what is going on in their minds that made them engage like this in such a public space, where they could have just kept this to themselves. They could have shook their head and closed the screen and just walked away, but instead they had to go on a tirade and just share all of this. And it does make me think now, especially in the last couple of years that we've had all experience collectively. I wanted to ask you, how do you engage with your social media contacts? And is that engagement transactional and or rewarding in your opinion?
Wow, I will say, the worst. Every time I look at Facebook, people are saying happy birthday, and I'm thinking my birthday was months ago, and then I think, oh yeah, I guess I haven't checked Facebook for a couple of months, So I'm not a good person to ask about social media.
I'm like in and out of social media. I think I hold it a little bit at a distance because honestly, it's a little frightening. Like what you said, people, in the same way that I think people say things when they're driving a car that they wouldn't say if a person was standing right next to them. That's the way that a lot of social media engages. But I do like to use it to find folks that have different ways of living, that are sharing their journeys. I think there's something beautiful about this interconnectedness of it. I just try not to lose track of where I am in time and place, which is like very much connected to the play too, because it reminds me of social media, but it's all phone calls still. It's not really of the internet world, which is even more fascinating because I feel like for me, it's relating something that I'm seeing a lot via social media and the internet, but this play isn't using the internet or social media to make me feel that way. So I just think that's really fascinating.
Yeah. Take us into the room and let's talk about the rehearsal process. What was it like, or what is it like? Because as we're talking now, we're still in rehearsal.
Yeah.
Are we going into tech yet?
Oh, next week. Oh,
This weekend.
yeah, this weekend. Yes.
Weekend. Ah.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's a scary ride, but man, what a great group to be with. I look forward to each rehearsal. Every rehearsal, we have a huge number of like laughs, in addition to getting a lot of stuff done. So it's just a great environment.
It is. The play is a lot of fun, but this group of humans are also just really brilliant and really funny. And the whole process has just felt exciting, challenging, but exciting. And I think we're going to learn a lot in tech about how the world of this play really functions.
I'm piecing it all together. Are rehearsals in person?
Yes.
Okay.
Our first two were Zoom, but after that, it's all been live.
Yeah. And it's just been interesting what we've all done to continue to bring these stories to life over this time. And I think it's great to kind of get back to those sort of familiar structures of being in person and going to the space and transitioning from a rehearsal space into a theatrical space and really making it work. But when I thought about this production and its description, it almost feels like Exile was prepared for what if this wasn't possible? What if we have to? What if this is a virtual production? Could we make that work?
I remember reading, because I read Extreme Home Makeover as well, and I had the same feeling. And I thought that was really smart planning, that all of the scripts are really beautiful scripts, but they have this quality to them that feels like they could be taken into another medium if the world were to take another turn for us to have to do that. It's really exciting to be back in person, though.
Yeah, and it just feels more relevant now. I feel like a lot of the stories that have come out or that are being produced, that have been produced over the last 2 years, have been very current. We're not necessarily thinking about, let's go back to that classic old chestnut and bring it to life in a new and exciting way. Which nothing wrong with that. To the companies who are classic theater companies, I salute you. But there's so much out there that we're currently dealing with. So to be able to kind of go into the space and sort of use the theater to process what is going on today, I have found to be very rewarding. And I think that the production teams have been pretty clever, thinking about the interesting ways to kind of help us forget that this isn't the normal that we are used to. This is this new thing that we're still kind of adjusting, all the while longing to get back to the way things were, or the way things were. Can you just I thought I had a couple of sort of fun things to ask. Could you describe your would-be alter ego?
Like ours personally, not our characters. Ours personally.
Yes. Have you given any thought to if you would put on a persona that isn't the you that you carry every day? What would you be?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that. Dan, do you have something that comes to mind?
Well, yeah, I guess I think of myself as in another life being like a billionaire, hedge fund trader, slash professional poker player.
Wow.
Just throwing it all out
Yeah,
on every hand. That guy's a billionaire. I do not want to play with him. He
I don't
has
know.
money. He is burning money over here. There's literally a trash fire of money sitting right next to him,
Right.
and he is still betting it all on black right
Yeah.
now.
The only things that came to mind, and now I'm like, what does this mean? I was reading this thing about a 5-year plan for a Virgo, and I was like at the fourth one of it. Like I was like, wow, my trajectory through life has really been this, and I'm a bit nearing the stage of witch, of just becoming a witch. So maybe my alter ego is just some swamp witch of Philadelphia somehow. But that and Mighty Mouse came to mind. Small but mighty, you know.
I've thought about it before. I think before I became the primary host on my podcast, I thought that I was possibly different than I am now, but I do think that being in this space, I have come into this me that I am, and I don't see it as an alter ego anymore. I think
Oh
Hmm.
wow.
it's just you know, it's just I believe that I'm more confident now because I'm having more conversations with people, and I'm listening more because I'm having conversations with people, and I'm genuinely interested in what's going on in other people's lives. And I don't know, for many reasons there were, I guess, if your circumstance is such that you have to focus on, how am I going to take care of this, how am I going to do that, that you can't really think about um the people around you. But I think this has kind of helped me do that. So I don't really see myself as having an alter ego. Darnell Radford, the host, is pretty much Darnell Radford.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, unless I'm tired, and you probably don't want to know that guy. It's probably pretty clear that he needs some sleep.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Are there moments in this production that you like the most that you can talk about without?
without spoiling key plot elements.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great moments in the play, but I kind of don't want to yeah, exactly. I don't want to accidentally spoil anything.
I think one thing that I can say is that, and Dan, this is totally about you. But so Dan plays the father, and the scenes with Dan and Stephanie are just tender. They make my heart feel just like, oh wow, the way that families love each other. I don't know, there's something really lovely about the work y'all are doing. And so that is one of my favorite moments, is watching you, Dan, and Steph.
Wow. Well, that is so nice, I have to say. But right back at you. No, I have to say one thing that I can say that honestly amazes me is that Rachel and another actor in the play, Joseph Ahmed, they just between them play like 20 different parts or something. And that just blows me away how they have to kind of just keep coming back as different people. So that's quite an amazing feat just to watch all that go by.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about that as well. Rachel, how do you become these characters? Like, what is your process like?
It's been so interesting. So interesting. I really enjoyed finding their voices. Um, Halima is a Manhattan mom, so she talks much faster and closer to my natural voice. Whereas like the DJ has a totally different placement, and every one of these characters' voices comes out of my body in a very different way. And I think that's been the most fun of creating these like very different sounding humans.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually, now that I think about it in my head, I think of the DJ as just being a different person from Halima, because I was thinking, who else does Rachel play besides Halima? I had to think about that. It's like, I think, of course, oh my gosh. But it's just because it's so different. I just, in my head, it's like tucked away in a different part of my brain or something.
Yeah, lots of characters.
Yeah.
Lots of characters.
Do either of you spend any real time on the phone these days?
Gosh. Not too darn much. I don't know. It's all email. I kind of just like email better because I don't know. I kind of more control over, accidentally saying something unfortunate if you have a chance to read it first. I don't know.
Yeah, I have. I have. Well, I have a technical background, so I have several family threads. Chat threads where we communicate. My brother facilitates a Zoom meeting that is basically a family reunion. And it is crazy how many people are tied to this thread and they sign on religiously. He literally just sends a text saying, "We're on in 10 minutes. Where you at?" Oh my God! Wow. And my other brother and his family, we have a thread where we're sort of nerdy and pop culture, so we end up sending a lot of nerdy things on that thread, and then my best friends and so on. It's crazy how I actually engage with them pretty consistently throughout the day. So, when I was thinking about the isolation, the thought process of like feeling alone because we're just sort of sitting in a space. Um, I guess some of the things that I do to just sort of, you know, not feel alone, like partially because my partner is here as well, but he might be working upstairs while I'm down here. Is that I have something playing. It's either the news or a podcast or something on YouTube. I feel like I've taken this time to sort of uh, take advantage of. There are things I wanted to know more about, but I didn't really have time to do them. And because I had to physically be somewhere or physically do something, that I wasn't able to do them, so that I would end up. So now I can just kind of uh, turn the volume down slightly and kind of multitask. And I guess that kind of keeps my brain kind of filled with something so I don't feel, um, you know, uh, a sense of loneliness as I'm sitting in a room with no windows. Well, it has a window, but my cat is super crazy. And if I don't block that window, she will be in and out of that window every day. So I'm pretty much sitting in a cave.
It's interesting when you say this time of our lives too, because like I think I started having phone conversations more and FaceTime conversations more, and just made sure that I was checking in with people I love more.
Yeah.
I think that became very important in the last 2 years, is making sure the folks that I have in my community know that I care about them. So that's an interesting thing to reflect about.
Yeah, there's something to be said when the possibilities of connecting to the people that you love and care about seem endless. Like you have the means. You can either hop on a train or get on a bus or drive, to those people, and you don't. and then the situation changes where it's kind of risky to do it, and now you start to think about it a little bit more, and you realize like it's not really a moment of regret. You just sort of think about like, oh my god, I could have been taking advantage of this, and now
Mm.
now that I can, I'm sort of thinking about it more. And so I feel like, at least for me, that on the other side of whatever this is, when it stops being what it is right now, that I hope that I continue to carry that I need to go I need to go be where you are, even if we're just going to sit there and kind of, just exist in a space together. Because all of the time that we spend sort of by ourselves, uh, you really start to realize, wow, I could have been really letting somebody know
Mm.
how much they care. How much they matter to
Oh,
me.
speaking of connections, by the way, Darnell, this may blow your mind, but you and I have actually worked together.
I was gonna say,
What?
is it
Yes,
PYP?
incredibly. This is 18
Oh my
years ago.
god!
Darnell was the stage manager
Yes,
in a
yes, yes, yes.
Philadelphia Young Playwrights.
It was called Daddy's
Yes, oh my
Wish.
God, you remember that. Yes, Daddy's Wish.
Yes, yes. It is so crazy because on Facebook there are every now and then the photos show up, and it's like so Bijan No
Yes, of
was
course,
in
yes.
that production. Uh, Davy Raffaelli was part of that. Not
Right,
not
right,
part of
right.
Daddy's
But
Wish,
one of the other
but
plays, yes.
yeah, and there was a handful of other people that I still connect to, and I remembered sitting in the theater for the Chinese lady saying like, "He looks
Oh, yes, that's amazing. That's amazing you remember. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Wow.
oh my god,
Shout,
that's
shout
wonderful."
out to PYP for this, because
I
the first
know,
time I
for bringing people
ever
together.
worked with Kat Ramirez and Kat didn't even direct any piece that I was a part of. We just were in the same space, and that was like the beginning of our friendship, which was, gosh,
Hmm.
8 years ago, 7 years ago. I have no idea. That's so wild. PYP, bringing people
Yeah,
together.
amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
I will tell you, the production of Daddy's Wish is the reason I know how to use chopsticks,
I hope I didn't teach you. Oh,
because I made you rice every
yes.
for every production.
I remember just being thoroughly impressed with your stage management, and for that matter, with everybody on staff there. I mean, I just thought that was just a terrific experience.
Yes, that was my first stage management job in
Oh my
Philadelphia.
God.
That was 2005.
Yeah, back then, 5,
Two,
4, back then. Yeah, a
2005.
while ago.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, some of the things that I've loved about these conversations is actually finding the moment when I first experienced, um, a performance from an artist that I'm speaking with, and it's sort of mind blowing to be like, wow, you were there. Like, yes,
Yeah.
you were doing your thing, and I was sitting over here in the theater. I was over here in this space. Yeah, great memories.
Wow.
Though there were moments like those that made it very hard to think about being anywhere but
Mm,
Philadelphia.
Mm,
definitely.
And yeah,
mm.
so I'm so glad that so many people from that production are still very much involved in this community. That particular moment in time for Philadelphia Young Playwrights. Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, memories. Yes. So one other thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I will sign off from there, is what do you want to do on your next birthday?
Well, I will say I want to go see the Northern Lights, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's something I've just always wanted to do.
Mm,
So I'll put that out there. Northern Lights. Aurora
great, great.
Borealis. Here we come.
Mm,
I would love to see people on my birthday. I think the past 2 birthdays have been spent really alone, and that's okay. I really embraced it and like went and walked along trees and hiked. But I would love to see people for my birthday and maybe even travel. I dream of traveling a little bit, so that's what I'd love to do.
So my birthday is the longest day of the year,
Oh,
and for the past couple of years, we have gone camping.
Ooh,
So we will go camping, and that's what I want to do.
I love that.
Being out in nature. There's something about being out in nature that says what phone,
Mhm.
you know, what social media.
Yes.
If you're not here, I will see you when I get back to whatever's closest. There's something about when you leave the city. As soon as you get close to the city, there's like a there's like this check you start doing, where all the things that you turned off when
right.
you were out of the city, you just sort of turn back on, and then you're like, oh, now I'm back into this race again. But yeah, I do look forward to having time in nature, and I think I guess when I was younger, I would think like, oh no, the city, the energy, the like hustle and bustle of the city is something I want to do for the rest of my life. But then as you get older, and you're like, you know what, I do want to look out the window and see nothing but trees, and hear the sounds of nature. And I often fall asleep to the sounds of nature and things like that. Because it's so calming, lowers your heart rate,
Hmm.
and everything is just a great experience. But yes, so in general, so as we're moving into tech at this moment, um, what do you like the most about this production or this experience, for Today Is My Birthday?
Wow. Well, I will say what I've said before. The people, it's just amazing. I mean, it's great to be working and to be in a play, but to be in a play with people that you actually look forward to spending time with, that's like just an unbelievable gift. I mean, I think that's just amazing.
Mm, agreed. And it's fun. I think we all I think we all could use things that make us smile. And I really just feel like this piece is fun and it's tender and it's healing and it's sweet. And I hope folks enjoy that because we all, I think, have been through a lot and deserve a little sweet thing to smile about.
Yeah. Well, the graphic is bright and bubbly, and it seems like a great way to end 25th anniversary season at Theater Exile, with the production of Today Is My Birthday by Susan Soon Yi Stanton, directed by Kat Ramirez, and the production is on stage now. If you're listening to this, it is on stage now through May 22nd. So you can go to theaterexile.org to get tickets. And Rachel O'Hanlon Rodriguez, Dan Kim, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about Today Is My Birthday. Though it is not my birthday, I'm looking forward to my birthday. And this trip down memory lane with you, Dan, that was just so amazing.
Wild.
Yes. What wonderful experiences. It's crazy how we connect.
Mm,
We don't even realize it until we actually sit and think about it. But this was a great chat. So
thank
thank you for
you.
taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rep Radio is an Emory production. You can find Rep Radio on social media at Rep Radio on Facebook, at Rep_Radio on Instagram and Twitter. For more information, visit us online at em3ry.com. Ride with us. Emory is on the move.